This one idea made me 10 shorts. They're already exported and most of them are published. Those didn't come from 10 topics, just one core idea, split into 10 angles, using a completely free system. And no, I didn't spend all the editing either. And so in this video, I'm showing you the exact system. So you can take one idea and turn it into a full week or even a month of shorts. First, we have to define what one idea actually means, because people kind of mess this up and then blame the tools. My one idea is about what if a main character died in Stranger Things. And so now that I had that sentence, I then started typing a prompt. It may not be perfect, but it got the point. Based on my research and about who dies in Stranger Things 5, create 10 viral shorts ideas that score 100. The idea should follow a what if X dies. Each idea should be different and based on a different but popular character. Right before I show you the results, I wanted to mention that in the prompt, I referenced my research, which I did in this video on my channel, which wasn't totally my research, but ChatGPT's research, because it was where I simply ran a Google search for who could die in Stranger Things 5. This was a trending topic at the time, but everything that I found and pasted into ChatGPT and told it to save and study the theories will all be totally relevant for my idea and videos now. So back to the prompt. After asking for 10 viral shorts ideas, I got exactly that. Each short is entirely different. Different characters, different angles, but of the main idea of who dies. But there was a problem. You see, this was a topic and idea that was getting a whole lot of views on even really small channels. But these predictions were a trending topic since we were in the middle of that final season of Stranger Things. But the show is over now, so there's nothing to predict. So the angle has to be different. And so how can I convert all of those 10 new ideas into evergreen ideas, which should continue to have interest over time? Well, by telling ChatGPT exactly that. To change the titles to a more evergreen video approach, I used my own brain to give it an example by changing died instead of dies, which was a lot of work on my part. But typing those 4 words paid off, because now I had the exact 10 video titles for YouTube shorts that I was going to make. Next step was to make the scripts. You may think that I had to do this one by one, which is only 50% true, because I just really had to put together a prompt to get the first one started, and then it was to actually just hit repeat. Here's the prompt that I made, where it was pretty much just me starting talking out loud with my keyboard. The prompt was along the lines of, for a YouTube short, write a viral Stranger Things script for number 1. Ensure the hook is engaging, powerful, and fully connected with the title. I thought that was really important because the first few seconds is where viewers drop off the fastest. So it has to be really good, while clearly resembling the title. And so I continued by mentioning to leave out any fluff, because I wanted to minimize the chance of a viewer dropping off the video. Each short needed to be really different, and because I thought these are basically stories, I said to make the stories unique and with amazing storytelling. And this last one, I'm not really sure if it helps, but I want even less editing and manual work, so I told it that it must have a score of 100. That's why I pay for ChatGPT Plus, right? So anyway, after I hit generate, spent 15 seconds to read a 45-second script. I thought it was perfect. There wasn't anything I needed to modify, except to do this again for video number 2, video number 3, all the way to video number 10 as promised. And to do that, all I did was copy the prompt and paste it into the chat and replace the title number to 2 and hit generate. Again, excellent script. So I just did that again until I had all 10 scripts. To save those, I copied each script and dropped it into a Google Doc. Believe it or not, for me, that was most of the hard work. Now it was smooth sailing from here to actually make the video. And so the first thing I would need to make the video was to generate the voiceovers. Hands down, the best sounding and most cost-effective method for this was 11 Labs, especially since the free plan covers all of the credits you need to make all 10 videos. So if you're trying this as well, be sure to sign up for 11 Labs using the first link I have in the description below. This was pretty straightforward. I picked a male voice, increased the speed to a bit faster, then in the first script I copied and pasted, downloaded and dropped in a folder named 10 Shorts Challenge, because I couldn't think of anything else to name it. Once exported, I opened up CapCut and dropped all 10 of the voiceovers onto the timeline Now it was time to get all of the scenes for all 10 videos. And this sounds like a whole lot to do, but I had no intention of taking the long and hard route. And by that I mean the longer route that is also more difficult. I could have listened to each voiceover, then make notes of which scenes I needed to find, then actually get them for that video, and repeat the entire process 10 more times. But I am getting older every day, and that sounds like 4 days extra. Extra days that I could be working on another video, or rewatching Stranger Things Season 5. So instead, I decided to use a method that I came up with that was almost automatic. Almost. I headed back over to the chat window I used in ChatGPT to generate the scripts, and then pretty much asked the AI to do all of the work finding the right scenes in each of the clips for me. I said I need to get the best visuals for each YouTube short to make it amazing. Maybe that last part was kind of cheesy, but ChatGPT can't really detect cheese, so it's okay. I continued the prompt asking to analyze the following 10 YouTube short scripts and suggest the episodes and particular scenes for every few seconds of each script. Then I shared the scripts right here in the chat window for easy reference. And now I had a scene breakdown for each YouTube short script, but I was still left with work to do, which I really wasn't up to. But I decided to help a bit. So I created this next prompt that, just like the scripts generation, I just reused the same prompt and changed the title numbers. In that prompt, I asked for title number 1, provide links to the clips on YouTube for each scene and provide timestamps as much as possible. And so as you can see, I got this breakdown of scenes, timestamps for my videos, suggested things to screen record in the video clips on YouTube, and the most helpful bit is the actual links to those videos on YouTube. So I repeated that for the other 9 videos, had CapCut opened in another window, and then got ready for the fun part. Screen recording everything that I needed in the easiest way possible. Alright, so I have CapCut open here. I'm going to show you how I got clips just like these, as well as how I edited a video like this easily. Let's say I was making this video about what if Steve died. I'm going to take this, drag it, and drop it into CapCut right here. And next I'm going to hit record screen. I'm going to use that to record the clips for that voiceover. Hit start recording, and then I'm going to pause this recording. And now back over in the ChatGPT window, ChatGPT did all of the work here for me already by breaking down this table, by providing this table of every line, the shot list, and the clickable timestamp links. As a really good guy to save a lot of time. So for this scene here, what if Steve died and the party let him die? ChatGPT provided the actual link to the video on YouTube. So I'll click that. First I'll mute the clip on YouTube because I don't want the audio from this. Make sure it's in 1080p, full screen, and the scene is where this guy wakes up in the upside down and he's getting attacked from some bats. This looks like it. And for CapCut, I'll hit resume to restart the recording. Resume the recording in CapCut and hit play on the clip. And this is all that I need for this first scene. And now stop the recording, and I could quickly adjust the screen recording that I just got on YouTube, where it ends and also where it begins right after here. So this is pretty much the screen recording clip I got. So what I need to do now is simply hit download, save it somewhere. Here it is. Now I simply just have to take this clip now and drag it into CapCut. And if it doesn't land where you want it to go, you just take it and move it around. And obviously it's not the entire clip I want because it's just like 2 lines or maybe just 1 line. So the line we want to get is this.
Party let him die.
It's just up until this point. So now I'll just adjust the clip accordingly to fit right here. And the scene I really like is this part. So bring this around, and I want this to go all the way until this point. So it stops almost exactly where I need it to be. So I'll press B on my keyboard to get the cutting tool. Cut right there. Press A to get back to the regular cursor. Click here and then click delete. Moving back across, we want to make sure that up here, because this is a YouTube short, it needs to cover more of the screen in this 9:16 dimensions. So I'll click the clip and increase this to fill the screen a little bit more. I'll move this around to pretty much be centered on the screen. And let's hear how this sounds and looks.
What if Steve died and the party let him die?
And there you go. It's as simple as that. It's a matter now of repeating that process for the rest of the scene, which might look long, but it is just about 20 seconds. So from 2:10 to 2:40, that's not much. We already covered almost 10 seconds here. Or how about we try it for this clip where Nancy saves Steve? Open this up in another window in another tab, get to the part that I want, screen record it, and then bring that back into CapCut. And I repeated that process until I got this.
What if Steve died and the party let him die? They chose not to because Vecna offered a deal.
I know you probably just heard some other things like some background music and you're seeing some captions on the screen, which actually doesn't really take any time at all. Because to get the captions on the screen, it's just a matter of coming up here and hitting captions and then hit generate captions. Once I had the captions here, to edit them how I like, it's just to click the captions that were generated right here and then come up to the color that can easily be changed as well as the size. To get the background music, I did one out of two things. There were two options that I used. First thing was I just came up to audio and searched for Stranger Things. I did find some useful backing tracks here where I just dragged and dropped it onto the timeline, but the particular one I used here was actually from Pixabay, where as you can see I searched for things like Stranger Things Upside Down, and one of these was the track. Just hit the download button and then dropped it onto the timeline. And that entire process that I just showed you for this clip, which you can find if you probably search for what if Steve died, it should be a YouTube short with like a billion views or maybe a few thousand views right now. The point is that entire process, I just repeated that, but in an efficient way for each of these other videos, where I dropped all of the voiceovers, used the ChatGPT window and the screen recording to get all of the different clips that I needed, dropped them inside of here, edited one at a time, and then I hit the generate captions button. And in order to export each of the YouTube shorts, I would hit the I just like this to show where I wanted the clip to start exporting from. Then go to the ending of that short and then hit O. And so as you can see, only what I want to export is highlighted here, which is the first short. And then I just repeated the process for the next short. Hit I where that one started and O where it ends, and then hit export. And I repeated that until that one idea gave me 10 shorts. And if that wasn't enough and you wanted to see how this all started, from that one idea, see how I turned Stranger Things predictions into faceless videos on YouTube right here.